Hi all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to the faint whirring sound of the fan in the background. I am literally, I've got sweat dripping down my back and I'm filming with no pants on. So that sound is a sacrifice I am willing to make for my physical well-being. If you don't like it, you're bothered by it, by all means, feel free to click out. But if you're okay with that shiz, then let's come on in, and today we're going to have another installment of roasting the sales section. Because I always say, and I always like to reiterate, that when it comes to certain consumable products, makeup is one of those things that doesn't really go on sale. Although I feel like that normalcy is sort of going by the wayside as we are seeing more sales, not just in, say, like the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, but there are more random sales, partly because I feel, you know, it is affected by the nonsense that is consistently shilled to us, which we then see reflected in said sales section. When makeup goes on sale and we do the whole don't buy it just because it's on sale videos, there is still a part of me that's like, why are you on sale? What did you do wrong? Because normal, good, traditional makeup doesn't go on sale. You don't see the Natasha Denona Lila or Sunset palettes, you know, 50, 75% off for absolutely no blinking reason. Other than the fact that if they were to ever be discontinued, yeah, they might do that kind of shiz, but that's a little bit sneaky and rude in and of itself. Kind of like what Huda Beauty did with the original Rose Gold palette. Oh, it's being discontinued. Buy it. By the way, it's coming back and it's gonna be remastered. That's a wee bit rude, but we have learned on this channel that companies don't give a flying whatever. So, obviously today, we're gonna talk about those roasted sale items, those sad, pathetic little excuses of products that have found themselves doomed to exist in the Sephora sale section for God only knows how long, because we are going to be talking about something that I've probably talked about every single time I've done one of these because it's still there. And I'm going to talk about it until it's gone. But we will start with a newer edition, and that is the Tarte X LeLe Pons eyeshadow palette. When this palette came out, I feel like it was sort of received with an overall overwhelming sense of why? When I've talked about this palette in the past, I've made the statement of when the demographic, when her fans don't know why this was released, when your main demographic is like, what? No, we didn't ask for this. That is a problem. I don't know if it's a problem in management. I don't know if it's a problem in PR. It's a problem in research. But somewhere along the way, there became an obvious disconnect from the vision to completion. At some point, we should have made the realization of, you know, maybe this isn't something that suits our demographic. Maybe this isn't something that's actually warranted or necessary. But instead of taking a look inward into our own mistakes, we're just gonna take this thing. We've made it this far. We might as well see it all the way through, and we're gonna release it. It's not gonna do very well, and it's gonna be in the sales section. I've heard that the quality wasn't very good. Like I said, the targeted demographic would have been very niche. I have no idea who did the research, who took the control group, what gave us the information that this was something that was good to go on with. It really baffles me. Out of all the weird, strange, you know, out of left field sort of collabs, I feel like this one really does take the makeup cake. Where you have this fresh-faced, annoying Viner, you have Tarte, which, with the exception of its Sugar Rush line, isn't really a brand that has a demographic that's into young kids, and then they're gonna take this influencer that does with young kids and put the face name on a palette. I completely understand why it's in the sale section. I think that shit should have just been straight up taken off the market. People weren't buying it when it was full price. I don't think people are going to be buying it now that it's on whatever kind of clearance. Okay, we're going to talk about something that is exceptionally subjective. I'm not saying this is in the sale section because it's a bad product. I'm going to talk about it because these kind of things get released left and right at the drop of a hat. We will release these sort of things, and you'll have the few frittered people that are like, oh yes, I need it, and then you'll have the rest of responsible society that are like, okay, all right, well, they did this again. Up for our judgment is the Too Faced Mr. Chiseled Contour Brush. We're less than 10 minutes in, and I'm already having a stroke. And the Tarte C something Aquaflash foundation brush. I understand aesthetic. I understand things looking nice and pleasing. Clearly, I am someone who cares about visuals. I am also someone that when it comes to certain things, I am very much function over form. And that comes to my makeup brushes. I like my makeup brushes to do what they're supposed to do, and that's it. I don't need bells and whistles. I don't need fancy handles. I don't need shaped bristles. I don't need colored bristles. I need something to hold on to. I need a handle for me to hold it, and then I need the soft blendy end for said application. That's it. I don't need cute little mermaid tail brushes. I don't need a contour brush named Mr. Chiseled with a friggin' bow tie on it. I don't need Harry Potter brushes. I don't even need Sailor Moon handle brushes. And y'all know how I feel about that, girl. It's just something that I feel, companies are a lot less reliant on releasing solid, standalone products, and they just like releasing pointless crap with said products. They're like, okay, all right, we're releasing a new foundation. Instead of just releasing the foundation, we're also going to release a stupid gimmicky brush to promote with the foundation. Please just release the one thing. Just please put the brush down. And this isn't the first offense. They keep doing it. It Brushes for Ulta loves doing it. They're like, we'll do one for Valentine's Day. We'll do one for Pride. We'll do one for Christmas. Y'all remember that Christmas star blush brush that y'all talked about last year? I swear to God, if I see that all up again up in here, and that went on sale, that shiz went on sale. Obviously, it's a point of discomfort for me, and that's why we're talking about it. Some of y'all love it. That's great. I'm just talking about me and my agita. Okay, this one I know we've talked about, and we're going to talk about it again because it's still here. This is the part that concerns me. Part of why we roast this sales section. I know Lauren May Beauty does this stuff. She does her videos. Stuff she's not surprised is in the sales section. I did one video a while back that was like predicting what was going to be in the sales section. I was right on some of it. I gave myself a little pat on the back there. But when stuff literally gets condemned, when it is sent to the Sephora dungeon, it is serving a very long sentence before it's finally let go or before it's finally executed, because some of this stuff has been in here for years. I am not someone who is like super paranoid about expiration dates. I mean, ashes, yeah. But I've got powders and highlighters that I've had for quite a few years. I'll declutter it when it stops giving me cha-cha-cha-cha. But I'm like, 12 months, ain't no way I'm gonna own this for a year and then pitch it. But when you have this stock that's just sitting there, just chilling, just vibing, just serving its life sentence, I call into question how good it's going to be if and when it finally gets purchased by someone. But that aside, the Sephora second round of Sephora X Moschino, I don't know. I am uncultured. But this is the round with the laptop, which, you know, I think I said in a previous one of this, you know, it had to go on sale because it was ridiculously expensive and overpriced to begin with. And then we had the little lip glosses that look like the pens, and then we had the highlighters that were highlighter pens. You know, the problem I had with this, part of it is because I secretly deep down into my nether region whatevers, I wanted the gold teddy bear. Man, would that shiz have worked and played into this background aesthetic we have going on here. And then they were like, round 2. And I'm like, oh boy. Like, we're gonna base it around school supplies. Okay. All right. I mean, I guess. It had more of a, you know, whereas the original collection was more, yes, Moschino, Jeremy Scott is a more tongue-in-cheek, fanciful, you know, I guess you could say it's a little bit childish looking and bright colors, and they've done SpongeBob and they've done, you know, other pop culture Barbie. But this collection, this second round, was so much less like an accurate representation of what the fashion house was, and a lot more just cheap, kitschy, childish. It didn't feel childlike but high end. It just felt like cheap kids' school supplies. And it was ridiculously overpriced. I love how Sephora is like, we're the affordable brand within Sephora. And then they do a collab or they do something fancy like those palettes and they're like, well, now we might as well be Natasha Denona. Don't understand that at all. The markup is a little bit confusing because, like I said, they tout themselves being like, oh, we're affordable. And then they're like, here, $65 for this palette because it has branding, licensing. Girl knows all about the problematic and the price gauge of licensing. And I don't like it when it then verges itself into makeup. Okay. These, I'm sure, once again, is very subjective. I don't know much about this. Your girl loves crystals. It's right here. If you want, you can go join my Patreon and watch a video with me talking about all my crystals. And there was this, like, Beauty Bio Rose Quartz Contouring Deep Puffing Glow Pro attachment head thingy. It's a thingy that you roll on your face. I assume you like put it in the fridge and you chill it so it feels all nice, and then when you're putting your serums and shiz on your face, you're rolling it around with that. It was fairly expensive, and then it was like discounted, and I'm like, yeah? I feel like this sort of thing is just like, oh, well, let's bank on the hype of crystals. I mean, I feel you are a lot more better to just go out, buy you a palm stone and just kind of, you're probably going to get better quality of crystal / stone than you are getting from this company. I have no idea about the special facial effects. I haven't, that is not an avenue of my crystal loving self that I have researched. I most definitely use mine for much less physical things. I feel like this is some weird kind of goop sort of strangeness. If you want to try one of these out, just take yourself to Marshall's, to TJ Maxx, to Ross. They have got so many different kinds. I have seen rose quartz. I have seen amethyst. I've seen clear crystal. You know, you can get whatever the frig you want without having to pay this price. You see, this is, I don't like when skincare things are marketed on what I would consider to be pseudoscience. Is this going to negatively affect you if you use it? Yeah, it is. Probably not. It's a friggin' rose quartz, you know? But is it actually this magical, firming, depuffing, make your skin fantastical so you need to pay $50 for it? In all likelihood, Probably not. Maybe you just want to feel all kinds of spiritual and woke and whatever and be like, well, I roll my serums on with a crystal. I mean, okay, strange flex, but you do you. Y'all remember when there was that really, really stupid challenge of applying your foundation with whatever the frig you wanted? And for today's video, I'm going to be applying my foundation with my chamber smoky quartz. For someone who really loves crystals, it's just something that I don't understand. And for someone who loves skincare, I just can't get down with all the like little, oh yeah, this could maybe help. You need this fancy luxury facial roller, whatever, to put your serums on, because that's gonna make a big difference. Then going on into this, the exact same brand. This is the lip micro tip, which is going into the micro needling, I believe. Which I will say, I do not trust myself with any kind of shiz like that. If I'm gonna get any kind of something put into my skin, I am going to a professional. Maybe some of y'all have got the whateverness to be able to micro needle your face on your own time. I do not trust myself. I don't think that is the most safe. I don't think it's the most hygienic. Yeah, it's great that we can do this kind of whatever at home, but you know, I feel like back in the day, piercing our ears in the bathroom wasn't the smartest thing, giving ourselves tattoos, and now we're giving ourselves cosmetic facials. I could be completely wrong. Some of y'all may absolutely love doing this shiz on your own, but I'm just like, why are we marketing this sort of do-it-at-home skincare thing that goes beyond selecting a moisturizer and a serum and a cleanser and goes into actually like puncturing your face? I'm not someone who's a germaphobe, but I'm someone who respects the specialtiness of like estheticians and people who are trained in knowing what to do to the face so the face just doesn't start sliding off your skull. I feel like sometimes in the sales section when it comes to these things, a lot of these companies and a lot of things sold on Sephora are very like fatty. Like they're like, oh wow, micro whatevering is a trend right now. Let's come up with something we can sell so that people can try it. I know that after Jaclyn Hill was like, oh yeah, I take a whatever straight razor and do my eyebrows and my face, those kinds of things were all over the whatever. And you know, I have issues with skincare being treated like a fad. It's like, you know, a good skincare routine is based in consistency and routine and extended use. I don't like all these different things just coming in. Oh, try this one day, try this another day, and then next week we're gonna do whatever the frig this is that Kim Kardashian has touted as being amazing. It's a personal thing, I know, but I just yeah, put it on sale because people aren't just, if you are, that's great, you do you, but I'm not taking no micro needling thing and being like, all right, you know, the most I'm gonna do is I'm gonna exfoliate my lips with a sugar scrub, and that's abrasive enough. Okay, this next one is a product that I wouldn't even purchase, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, take my opinion with a whole shaker of salt if you want on this entire video. But this is the Nars Mosaic Multi-Shade Highlighter and Blush. Y'all know your girl has a personal distaste for products that like to be together without, I don't like my things touching. So when you have products that are literally put together without having pans separating, that gives me probably the worst kind of agita ever. My OCD comes out and it is not pretty. And this particular item is exceptionally triggering because you have a pan about yay big, you know, it wasn't a little itty bitty baby pan, so there is that. But you have the like blush part mosaic, and then you got like the highlighter in the middle, and then you got the bronzer at the bottom. And I guess what you're supposed to do with these kinds of things is you're supposed to take your brush and swirl it all up in whatever and be like, it is a multifaceted, multi-use product that creates a beautiful depth of dimension on my cheeks when I swirl it together and apply it to my face. Because I don't know about the kind of brushes y'all are using, but the highlighter, yeah, sure, I can get my highlighter brush in there. When I bronze, ain't no way. When I blush, Jesus take the wheel, ain't no way I'm getting a nice even amount of application of blush from that little section. I hate these things so much. They are just poorly executed, poorly conceptualized, because they're cumbersome. They make sense. I feel like when MAC did that one thing that was like, it had like purples, or was that Mally? No, MAC did the one that was like all the jungle scene. It had all the different shades in it. People were like, I have no idea what to do with this. Is it a face powder? Is it a blush? Is it a bronzer? Is it a highlighter? Just give us the componentry either in one thing, take all the whatevers and smash them together and be like, okay, all right, here's this multi-use product, or take those things, separate them, and give them to us like that. Don't keep giving us these little things that are then, you got so many things crammed inside of it, and you tell us, oh, you could do so much with it, when really you can't, because it's just one big, giant, crammed in together headache. It's on sale because nobody wanted to buy it, shiz, because it was annoying. This is one thing that kind of makes me all kinds of like, sometimes you feel just a little bit vindicated about things that are in the sale section. I remember when Sephora decided, y'all know what this company is missing, what we are missing to sell to our tried and true customers. And that was ridiculously overpriced blingy hair things. And as such, introduce the Kitsch brand. They did hairpins, they had scrunchies, they had barrettes, and these things, although while bedazzled and whatever, were really pricey. We're talking $29, $39 for like one thing. And I like bedazzlement as much as the next person, but I'm not going to be paying $29, $39 for just a little that says boss. And as such, the majority of said kitsch things are now in the sale section. I mean, you got an ugly ponytail holder for $29. Ugly ponytail holder for $29. And you got all these various, they got the bobby pin set that's like, $49. And I'm like, why? Why? At what point did we think that Sephora needed to have these expensive, bougie, overpriced, mistargeted hair things? Like, yeah, if they came in and they were like really cheap, I'd be like, okay, all right, why are you being sold at Sephora? Because Sephora is like the high-end makeup, whatever it is. But in the same breath, I don't want you to market to me these ridiculously overpriced, stupid hair things. I'm not going to Sephora to buy my hair trappings. I mean, I don't spend a lot of money on hair trappings, so clearly I am a missed demographic here in this. They're not marketing towards me, and I'm not entirely sure who they were marketing toward, because they're on sale now because they ain't selling. I feel like Sephora is just continuously bringing in these weird, random, sort of out of left field. It's like them doing the whole thing. They're bringing, the beauty bar in. They're bringing that MLM all up in there. I feel like the person who is doing Sephora's market research isn't doing the best job. So I am just a little bit vindicated and honestly not very surprised that these things are on sale, because when you start with a product that is like the Sephora Moschino collection, when you start with something that's clearly overpriced to begin with, it's gonna go on sale at some point, because ain't no one gonna be buying a $39 hair bobble and being like, why, yes, this is the best, most valuable, certainly worth $39 hair thing I've ever tried. But that is what I have for you all today, discussing roasting that sale section. These videos are fun for me to do because I like just getting on here and being, maybe not nasty. We have been a little bit nasty recently. Like I said, the older I get, the less I care, the less I want to apologize for just expressing my opinions. Obviously, would love to hear what y'all have to say about this shiz down below. If it's something you love, that is fan-tucking-fastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo. But for me, these are just my opinions. Having all kinds of discussion down below. We'll probably continue to do this as long as companies are releasing stupid thing that's gonna go on sale. Y'all gonna get the holiday edition of this come like February and March, because y'all know that shiz is gonna go on sale. So stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!